Well, good morning, everybody. I'm happy to be here and happy to have the opportunity to talk to you about a study that when we started out to do, Jim and I, we thought it was going to be a 1 to 2 year project. 6 years later, here we are. That gives you an example of how well we do in predicting how long research will take. It was a great experience for us to do this study, and it's been a great experience to write the book, and even a more fun for us to come and talk to people like yourselves about the book. So I'm pleased to be here, and I look forward to the conversation, look forward to some of the questions that you have, and ability to talk about the findings and see how they apply to your own particular organization. The title of the book is Built to Last: Successful Habits of Visionary Companies. Now you notice that the focus of this title, if you think about it, is on the company. The focus was not on the visionary leader. We could have, for example, titled this book, Visionary Leaders and the Companies They Led. But in fact, what we found out was that the visionary leader was only important to the degree that they built a company that lasted well beyond the time that they were leaders. So that is a really key point for us to begin with, and a key thing that I'd like for you to walk away here with in terms of what this research taught us. And that is that the focus of the leader should be on the company and developing and building a company that will last way beyond that individual. Now, I think that this is a particularly freeing and empowering idea for most managers, because I suspect that most of you are like me, that 99.9% of us get up in the morning and look at the mirror, and we do not see a charismatic, larger-than-life, visionary leader. That in fact what we see is a pretty competent, pretty good, pretty able person who's going to go out and do some good things that day, but who probably is not going to sort of change the world with the power of their personality on that particular day. So if in fact then for this huge percentage of managers we can begin to develop some ideas and share some ideas with you that can help you build a company that has visionary characteristics, that behaves in visionary ways, then we think that this is a very empowering and powerful message. And I think that for me, that is one of the most significant outcomes of what this book and this research is all about, is that you don't have to be this charismatic, larger-than-life visionary to build a visionary company. So that's where we began. We began with this notion that it's the company and not so much the leader that we have to think about. Okay. One of the places I'd like to begin is to describe to you the research method that we used to do this study. Now, I don't normally go into detail about research methods to audiences like yourselves because you're not interested in sort of that academic side of how these things are done. But from the point of view of this particular research, I consider it to be very important. And the reason is that in the research, we uncovered some findings that run in direct contradiction to many of the conclusions and the principles and the ideas about how business is done. And if these conclusions are in contradiction, I think that you would probably be interested in knowing more about the research around which they were based. Because if the research was not well done, if the research didn't look to you like it made sense, like we did the right things, then you probably wouldn't be believing the conclusions that the research pointed toward. So I want to spend a little bit of time describing to you what that research method was, just to give you some sense of, hey, there's some credibility in these findings. And then as you learn more about what some of the conclusions of the research were, you'll know upon what they were based. And I think that that's an important thing for you to understand. So, the research method.